Hello, everyone. Welcome to QuackerYaps, where I talk about whatever came to my mind last night that was haunting me and keeping me up, or just whatever came through my head, going just through my day. I hope everyone's doing well today. Here it's pretty nice this time of year, unless, of course, you're in Australia or something like that. But all that aside, what I wanted to talk about today was why do people wear masks? And I'm not talking about the kind that, took the world by storm in 2020 or a kind of Halloween mask. I'm more so referring to the social mask that people wear. That goes for you, your family members, any sort of friends, coworkers, anyone like that. You may not think about that. You may be thinking to yourself, well, I don't wear a mask. But depending on who you're around, everyone's going to wear some sort of mask. Whether you act differently compared to your parents or your friends or your coworkers or just some random person you met on the street or maybe a server you found at a restaurant. And it's a weird thing to think about because you don't really always think about it. And something that's I think is pretty important to kind of think and really do a deep dive on yourself. And first, I want to get started with, I can't remember the quote, but it was something along the lines of you have like three masks. One around everyone you see, no matter who it is, ones that you wear around your friends, your parents, and the one that no one sees, the true you, really. And it's such a strange topic. I know I've already said that. I'm just trying to get better at my speaking and would say calligraphy, but there's like a different word. But you never act how you really are around anybody you talk to, whether you make arguments with yourself or really want to make an argument, but the people you're around, you're scared of what will sort of happen if you say something like that. Or your parents, maybe you want to say, oh, I had so much fun at this, but you're afraid that might get you in trouble there. And one thing with that is there could be an argument made, at least in my opinion, that if as a society everyone wore a mask, like a physical mask, kind of like a Halloween mask, that everyone would be their true selves. Because people tend to associate their identity to like social outings or their friends. Like if your friends think a certain way, you're more than likely going to think a certain way, if you realize it or not. And if everyone wore a mask, no one would know who you are, and so you'd be more free to do really anything. And with that, like criminals, they wear masks, which obviously they don't want to get caught. But you could consider that to be who they really are. With a mask, they can do whatever they want because they aren't scared of affecting their own personal image. And it creates such a weird thing to think about because who you're talking to, your best friend, you might not really know them. You may know a small part of them, but you can't know like the full spectrum of who they really are. And it's so weird because people, like, let's use for example, like a psychopath or a sociopath, someone with ASPD. When we think about those types of people, they sort of put on a mask. Like people who are psychopaths, they do really well when talking to someone. You may think, wow, this person's the best. I fit with them really well. But a lot of times what people see and notice is that they're just mirroring who you are. And I think that is a prime example of the kind of masks that I'm referring to. It's that mask where they might be trying to get the better of you or get on your good side or stay off of your bad side. And it's just, those type of people you're around them, you can't tell who they are, and they won't let you. Because for them, typically, it's a sign of manipulation, possibly, And you can even find this like your spouse or some relationship that you're in, someone you trust 100%. If something goes bad or there's a big fight, argument, you can kind of see some cracks, maybe, inside of that person. Like, why would they do that? This isn't them. This isn't how they would act. Something's going on. But that mask starts to break or crack or slip off, whichever word we want to use here. And that is such a weird feeling, too. Especially people have reported that when they talk to psychopaths. Something just feels almost alien about them. And, it's, how do I phrase this? Like, it really is just a weird feeling. Like, you can't shake it. It just doesn't seem right. But at first, you might not notice it because they're going after your emotions. Oh, this feels great. I love talking to this person. I want to spend every waking moment with them. But in their mind, they're thinking, oh, this person just fell into my trap. Huh? And really, it's really hard to spot these masks, especially when you aren't thinking that everyone does wear a mask. Your mom, your dad, people like that. And it would be really interesting to see, from my perspective, what a whole mask wearing society, I don't know if that's proper terminology, because like I mentioned in my last video on a random tangent, I was talking about politics. Now, personally, I'm not big into politics, but some people tend to make politics their whole, like, they make it part of them. They make it part of their personality. And so I feel like up and coming, like decades or maybe just a few years, people have such disputes and they're willing to get rid of friendships just because of a different political view. Now, personally, I think that's frankly just a little dumb, but I can see kind of where it comes from, because people just really associate their identity to those politics and their views. And even if a couple years down the line they change their views, like in their head, they may still be wearing that mask of I believe in this really hard. And they're defending it every single possibility and every possible chance. And they can just feel stuck almost, because they're almost scared of, their friends, families, people they've made connections with, because they think the exact same way. Except now they have a different view and they're scared of people finding out about that, people thinking differently upon them. And it comes down to a sort of insecurity. People are scared to not fit in. And I feel that is very present in today's world because, especially with social media, so much as we all love social media, people see these unrealistic expectations and expect their life to be like that, or they want their life to be like that. Well, sure, that could be the case. It might be possible for that to happen. More than likely, it's not going to happen. And it is quite unfortunate, but, it is what it is. And I think that'll be it for that conversation. I do want to know any comments, hopefully this time, if, what you guys think would be cool to hear about. I have a whole bunch of different perspectives on different videos, just kind of doing sort of overviews. I kind of leave my opinion out of a good bit of this, not all of it, of course, because where's the fun in that? And another thing, if you guys liked it, subscribe, and yeah, mainly just the comments, though. I am really curious to see what anyone would want to sort of hear about. And I hope this editing gets better on this video compared to my last. Just me playing Sudoku and Block Blast the whole time. So, anywho, I wish you all a great day, and I'll see you next time.